It was the Apostle Paul who questioned the Galatians. You were running well. Who has bewitched you? And another phrase that he gives in the context of Galatians. Having begun by the Spirit, or now you brought to maturity by the flesh. Now jumping to the book of Hebrews. He says to the Hebrews, basically the same thing, you're running well. Who has bewitched you? Who has hindered you? Who got you going back under Judaism again? They gained God's favor and acceptance. Then he mentions, gets them to reflect that, the Holy Spirit quickened you. You tasted of the heavenly gifts. Then he says in other verses that I don't believe this of you. I've seen you manifest how the Holy Spirit came, quickened your human spirit, and through that human spirit, by an act of the surrender of your human soul, I've seen Him, the Holy Spirit, through your quickened living human spirit, speak and act to your soul surrendered through your body, and seen the fruit of that in your life. I don't want to believe that now you're going to turn back and go back under Judaism, under the pressure of Judaism. Now you're forsaking the assembly of yourself together with those who've been called out, the ecclesia, the church, the called out assembly, and now you're going back under the pressures of Judaism, so you won't be persecuted. He said, I don't want to believe that, but if you do that, if this is true, he said, you have just trod underfoot what Jesus Christ had accomplished for you before the world ever began. His justifying work. Then he's going back to Galatians and he says, no one will ever be justified by the flesh, human efforts to save himself. By your words are you justified. By your words you're condemned. You're speaking as carnal. And he jumps to the Church of Corinth, expressing the same message. He says to them, I would speak unto you as unto spiritual, but you're coming out of your fleshy, carnal souls and mind. Think of it, he says, Galatians. He began a good work in you. He'll finish that work. But you can hinder that work and disrupt it. And he asked them a question. What do you have that you haven't received by an act of the Holy Spirit quickening your human spirit, and that's human spirit sharing its intellect and feelings, which comes from the Father of your human spirit, to your surrendered soul, who never knew that you had a Father, and it was God, not those of your flesh. That gets in the book of Hebrews again. See, all these verses, I'm not going to sit there, I don't try to memorize chapter and text. It clutters the mind. If you need chapter and text, as I'm putting this audio together and put it together in a video, all these texts are going to come up. Everything I say is very biblical. And it's not a text out of context, trying to prove something that's not there, but it's text in the context of the totality of Paul's message, what he called the mystery, Christ in you. Hidden, like a treasure, in an earthen vessel, that the excellency would be of God, not of you. Galatians, Hebrews, you Americans, you men of the world. I ask you a question. If you could save yourself by a set of rules, be it from Judaism, from your Baptist church, your Pentecostal church, from your races, your cultures, and your creeds, if you could save yourself by any set of laws and rules, do you understand? There never has been a set of laws and rules to save us. The law was never given with the intent to save you, but to bring you back to what I'm trying to get you to see, of a promise. It's been hid under religion and the world's opinions and ideas. Something that comes up before the foundations of the world. Something that comes up before Adam ever fell. God seen that he would fall. And seeing the injustice that it would be. How you would be cut off, become a son of Adam. He places you as a son. This thing of adoption, it means to be son placed. He gives you that which you don't deserve, holds back what you do deserve. You ought to go the way of your Father. But God in His love and kindness and forgiveness justifies as though you were never born through Adam. Places you once again from a son of Adam to a son of God. And He let every man that come in the world, His rain has fallen upon the just and the unjust. Every one of us has this, locked up in our dormant spirit. But we rather go with the iniquity of our parents to our flesh, carnal views and perspectives, seeking to save ourselves, not even knowing that the problem was incurable. No human being could have ever saved this problem from us from this problem. In order for this to happen, you'd have to be born all over again. And that gets so distorted. There are those in this New Age movement. There are men in the world that use this term. You got to be born again. It definitely don't mean what I'm talking about, or what the Apostle Paul and what Christ was trying to get us to see. Jesus said it this way: He just seeks to save this life that He's developed in His carnal soul, of His intellect and His emotion, by an act of His own free will, following the dictates of the iniquity of His parents, and being shapen in that, cut off from God. If they follow that, they've trod on the foot. What God had placed inside you, allow the Holy Spirit awaken you to the fact that Christ is hidden in you, that the excellency would be of God, not of you. If you go about establishing your own righteousness, you forfeit what God has offered, what He has done. Here's the bargain. God has said it's to have saved you spirit, soul, and body. We all get to resurrect the body. You go of one of two resurrections. The first resurrection is to those that go take this body that's been prepared for a new existence, a whole new realm. Religious words calls it heaven. I don't use that word no more. It gets so distorted. Now there's a second resurrection that goes to your place that you have prepared, that the dictates of that place is in your own books, in your own words. By those words, you're not just. And you go with the unjust. But you get justification, because you don't go by the injustice of the fall of Adam to hell, or to abode, a holding house, cut off from God, and an eternal body. He could have, by an act of quickening your human spirit, renewed your mind that would be housed in this body forever. That's why I said in this place, Sheol, hell, Hades, this holding house, that there's no more learning. You get what you got, and you go to your place with your thoughts and mentality, locked up in an eternal body, never knowing any different or any better. Where what was available to you was a treasure chest, and this Christ in you, into which all the wisdom and knowledge of God was hid. And you would have worked it out by the aid of the Holy Spirit to your quickened human spirit to change your old mindset and gain a whole new mind by the surrender of this mind and its opinions and its ideas. You could have surrendered it. Old lamps for new. And you would have been housed with a spiritual mind, by an activation of your human spirit, and it would see its Father as God, knowing that it is the Son of God. And when it would have went on for ages upon ages upon ages. The outward man is decay, yet the inward man is being renewed day by day by an act of the surrender of the soul's will and its thoughts and its opinions to a higher feeling, to higher thoughts, and the will of God the Father to the quickened human spirit. God bless you.